the signal, Mr. Starter is satisfied that everyone's ready to go. They are now up to starting orders. So it's one with the Formula One stock cars.
And that's the green. Slow start by Neil Smith in 5:07. Left out wide by the fence down on the pit turn. The Sleep Ice leads them off in 5:09. The battle of the Star Graders starts. Rob Cowley leads the Red Roots away in 73. Last man into the action is Neil Smith in 5:07. Sykes have gone wide on the pit turn. And leading them through is Gary Lester in 3:64. Sykes goes through second in 5:09 with John Paget third in 4:49 and Ian Higgins fourth in 29. Ian is the best of the Blues, and some way back there's Chandler and Andy Hodgson handing it out to be best of the Reds. Rob Cowley dropping down the places. Meanwhile, the lead car has gone to the fence on the pit turn. Gary Linton dropped some ground down there. And Ian Higgins in the colorscape car goes through the lead now on the home straight in 29. Paget is second. Linton's in the fence down on turn 2 for a 364 car parking up. Des Chandler's hit trouble with Jeff Nichols down on the pit turn, but the 213 car is motoring again. And the leader's through. It's Ian Higgins, 29, from John Paget in 4:49 with Matt Bennett third in 4:13 and Craig Howard fourth in 52. Back in fifth is Jamie Davidson in 4:64 and John Lund is through to sixth in 53. Lund gets a big 1-2 from Hodgson down on that pit turn. Hodgson's put Lund into the Jamie Davidson car. Hodgson moves on. Now he's battling with Peter Folding 33 and Nigel Wharton just in behind them in 4:22. They're about a third of a lap down on the lead man, who is 29, Ian Higgins. Higgins goes through down the home straight. Running second is John Paget in 4:49 with Matt Bennett third in 4:13 and Nigel Wharton fourth now in 4:22. And Hodgson's taken him and Wharton away. Both of them gone to the fence down on turn 1. John Lund airborne over the Craig Howard car down the back straight as he regained some ground lost earlier on. Hodgson and Wharton both running again after that shunt down on turn 1. Craig Howard has climbed an infield marker tile down on the pit turn, and it will be halfway next time. Ian Higgins, the lead car, 29. Around the pit turn he goes. And it's Peter Folding who's running second now in 33. With Higgins through in the lead at halfway in 29. 33, Folding is second. John Lund third in 53 and John Paget fourth in 4:49. Fifth is number 2 Paul Harrison, and sixth is 73 Rob Cowley, 7:2.72 Andy Hodgson, and 8:4.22 Nigel Wharton. The only other driver left on the lead lap is 4:13 Matt Bennett in 9th place. And just behind him on track it's Ian Higgins, 29 the leader. Higgins is through with 5 to run next time. Peter Folding trying to haul him back, but there's a third of a lap between them, the full length of the straight as Higgins goes down into turn 3, the clear leader in 29. Higgins, the first to see the 5 laps to run board, being chased by Peter Folding in 33. John Lund in third place in 53, and then it's Paul Harrison fourth in number 2. And Wharton's gone again, down on the pit turn, the 4:22 car has a look at the oncoming traffic. Action aplenty amongst the Star Graders in the early stages of the meeting. Certainly Heat 1 being a lively affair amongst those starmen, but out front it's bleats off Ian Higgins, 29. 3 laps to run as he goes through this time. And 3 or 4 back markers between the leader and the second place man, Peter Folding. He gets rid of one of them, Matt Bennett down on turn 1 that time. And Folding not pulling in the distance, and now Wharton and Hodgson having a little tussle after their tussles earlier on. Wharton's put Hodgson in a big one down to the end of the home straight. So the Starmen continue to knock each other about, and Ian Higgins leads in 29. Down there around turns 1 and 2 he goes. On the back straight for the last time. And there aren't going to be many survivors of the 17 who set out in Heat 1, and there's the checkered flag. Ian Higgins leads them out in 29. Peter Folding comes through second in 33. There aren't going to be too many others finishing on the lead lap. 53 John Lund goes through in third. Behind him, Paul Harrison is fourth in number 2. And I think it was only the top 4 who were on the same lap at the end of the 16 racing laps. Now we just keep them going for some minor places to be put down on the charts. And that's it, Mr. Starter. Thank you. We can have the Reds. Under starters orders then for Heat 2 for the Formula Ones, and away we go. Howard Davis leads off the charge in 3:27 as they hit the home straight and go racing over 16 laps. Shane Darrell, 3:71, tracks in through down around turn 1. Steve Sykes on the wide outside in 5:09 is running third. Through to that third spot in 1:92. Last man away is Warren Hunter in car number 20. And it's Davis the leader, 3:27 from Darrell in 3:71, McCruffin in 1:92. Flat front tyre there for 3:43 Barry Heat, so he's out of proceedings in Heat 2. And here comes Howard Davis again, through on the home straight in 3:27. Shane Darrell second, and Dave McCruffin third. It's Clint Knapp running fourth in 96, and Paul Higgins streaks away onto the infield there in 2:29. Infield marker tyre under the front end, lost steering altogether as he hunted across the grass. Barry Heat has made it safely onto the grass with that punctured front tyre. And the leader is still Howard Davis in 3:27. Off turn 2 and onto the back straight he goes. Peter Fording and Andy Hodgson moving through and having a little tussle there in fourth place, 33 and 2:72 as they track Glyn Daff down the back straight in 96. Fording chases Hodgson now down into turn 1. Around that infield marker tyre, which is causing the drivers to take a slightly wider line on that first bend. They've overhauled Shane Darrell and Glyn Daff from second and third places. Howard Davis clearing 3:27 and Peter Fording's gone second in 33. Hodgson down to third with John Lawn 4 and Jamie Davidson 5, and then Glyn Daff 6 and Rob Cowley 7 and Shane Darrell 8. And Howard Davis 3:27, bit of smoke coming from the side of that engine as he goes down around turns 1 and 2 and onto the back straight. Peter Fording running second, 33, with Andy Hodgson third in 2:72. It's John Lawn in fourth place in 4:41. Jamie Davidson putting him under pressure in fifth in 4:64. The bumpers connect down the back straight. John Lawn is pushed out wide and Davidson goes through into fourth. It will be halfway next time through for the lead car. And that car beginning to smoke even more now. Howard Davis 3:27 and he's cooked it down on the pits turn. It really is smoking now as Peter Fording takes over the lead in 33. Hodgson second and chasing Fording. And through at the halfway third is Jamie Davidson in 4:64 with John Lawn fourth in 4:41. Fifth is 73 Rob Cowley and 6:96 Glyn Daff. Seventh is Shane Darrell in 3:71. And eighth is Matt Benning in 4:13. And the ninth and 10th are Steve Sykes and Dave McCruddon, and that's how the top 10 went through the halfway. Howard Davis remains parked up between turns 3 and 4 in the 3:27 car. And Peter Fording is the race leader in 33. Putting some daylight between himself and second place Andy Hodgson with a couple of back markers in that daylight. They've got just 5 to run next time. And Fording is the clear leader of this one. He's got more back markers to contend with now as he comes off the pit turn through onto the home straight. 33, Peter Fording clear at the front from Andy Hodgson 2:72. 4:64, Jamie Davidson is third. John Lawn is fourth in 4:41 with Rob Cowley fifth in 73 and Glyn Daff sixth in 96. Now Fording just steering his way through the traffic, through the back markers, trying not to make any errors that would allow Hodgson to close in. Fording has got 3 to run as he goes through this time on the home straight. Hodgson in second, Jamie Davidson third. No change behind him with John Lawn still holding off the challenge from Rob Cowley. Paul Higgins 2:29 trying to make up some ground after he lost a lap or so on the infield round about mid-race. But he's just been put a further lap down by Peter Fording in 33 as we go through the closing stages, and there is the last lap board for Fording. Lapping Shane Darrell as they go down to turn 1. Off that turn 4 onto the back straight goes Fording clear up front in 33. Still Rob Cowley chases John Lawn through the pack, but off the last bend and on the home straight comes Peter Fording 33 to win Heat 2. Second man home is Andy Hodgson in 2:72. Over the line third goes Jamie Davidson 4:64 and Rob Cowley just deprived John Lawn of that fourth spot on the last lap, dropping John Lawn down to fifth. With Glyn Daff out next, and he was the last one to finish on the lead lap. Number 96, Glyn Daff. More problems for Paul Higgins, 2:29. Creeps over the line down in the minor places. As the rest of them come through at the end of 16 laps. And the Reds, please, Mr. Starr. And that's the green flag, setting the 18 cars racing away into Heat 3. Neil Neil Smith in 5:07 takes him around turn 1 in lead position from Keith Neville in number 9 and David Crudden in 1:92. Last man away and into the action is number 20, Warren Hunter. And already the leaders are back at the end of the first. 5:07 from 4:36 and 1:92 is how they go down onto the second lap. Neil Smith the leader from Richard Knight in second place now in 4:36 and Barry Heath third in 3:43. Lindaff running fourth, David Crudden on the wide outside in 1:92, losing a bit of ground. Two blue tops tangling on the back straight. 91 Will Ford's back on track, but John Lawn with the tyre under the front end, 4:41, losing time over there. Now Richard Knight trying to deprive 5:07 Neil Smith off the lead, up there on the pit bin. At 4:36 Richard Knight takes over up front. 96 Lindaff follows him through, dropping Neil Smith down a third in 5:07. The Heat 1 winner Ian Higgins motoring through in 29, with 3:43 Barry Heath just in behind, and then John Paget 4:49. 4:36 and 96 the leaders. Richard Knight and Lindaff side by side on the back straight, and now Lindaff moves through in the top spot in 96, followed by Ian Higgins in 29. They're on the home straight. And Higgins takes over the lead now in 29. Richard Knight and Lindaff still having a battle for second place. Richard Knight regains that second in 4:36. Lindaff is third, Barry Heath 4, Paul Higgins is 5. And then the first of the stars coming through is Des Chandler 2-1-3. And Daft and Knight have both gone to the fence on the pit turn after our little battle of the Nottingham drivers. So both of them out of the running. And up front Ian Higgins some way clear in 29. Brother Paul running second in 2:29. The colour skate cars first and second, and he will be halfway next time through. John Lund is the man who's emerged from the pack in number 53 to chase after the top two, with Barry Heath running 4 and Nigel Wharton 5, Paul Harrison 6 and Des Chandler 7, Shane Dorrell is 8, and the man who started off last, Warren Hunter number 20, comes through in 9. 2 on 5, Jeff Nichols on in the infield and possibly about to retire from the race. So we've gone the halfway with Ian Higgins the leader in 29. And changes behind him as Paul is passed now by Nigel Wharton, who in turn has passed John Lund. So it's Nigel Wharton running second in 4:22. They've got 5 to run next time through. And Ian Higgins in a spot of bother there in the tangle with Neil Smith at the start of the back straight. He got away with it, so without too many problems. And Des Chandler in trouble in 2-1-3. He's collected that Neil Smith car. There's not much of a gap on the inside line round turn 2. Ian Higgins just about gets away with it again, but Nigel Wharton's trying to close him down as we head for the closing stages. It's 4 to run this time through, with Ian Higgins the leader in 29 and Wharton second in 4:22. In third it's 53 John Lund, and fourth is 2-1-3 Des Chandler. Higgins has still got some back markers to deal with in the number 29 car. He's got 3 laps to run, and Wharton's working hard behind him in 4:22. Around turns 1 and 2 they go, 29 and 4:22. Clear from 53 John Lund, with Des Chandler fourth in 2-1-3. Ian Higgins in 29, down to turn 1 he goes, more back markers to deal with. 4:49 John Paget is one of them, and Nigel Wharton still closing on him. Higgins goes down to the pit turn with Wharton pulling back that distance, and the last lap board is about to go out with Ian Higgins the leader, 29 from Nigel Wharton, 4:22. They're off turn 2, they're on the back straight. Higgins still has the advantage. Goes alongside Brother Paul down into that pits turn, and that's the cushion Ian needed, and he comes off turn 4, and there's the checkered. But Ian Higgins wins it in 29, Nigel Wharton second in 4:22. Blew a tyre in the closing stages of 1:92, and it was John Lund and Des Chandler who came home next with Paul Harrison, and then Warren Hunter. And the rest of the drivers completing the distance of 16 laps, and that's it, Mr. Starter, the Reds please. Superstars, Peter Fawley 33, John Lund 53, number 2 Paul Harrison 4:22, Nigel Wharton. And that's the green flag, 20 racing laps ahead of them, and Nigel Wharton off to a slow start in 4:22, and Paul Higgins 2:29 buckles the front wheel and comes to a halt down the back straight as the action gets underway. Steve Sykes leads them down the back straight in 5:09 as they come through to round turn 4 and end lap 1. They're all safely away with Nigel Wharton, the last one to get started. 5:09 the leader from 3:71, Shane Darrell, and 4:49 John Paget. Dual race winner Ian Higgins, number 29, not surprisingly leading the blue top charge through the field, and he's through to 7th on the charts already as the leaders come around the pit turn and back to the home straight as Steve Sykes has spun it in 5:09, leaving Shane Darrell with the lead position in 3:71 from John Paget second in 4:49. Andy Hodgson blown a back tyre and gone to the fence on the pit turn in 2:72, so his race is over. Richard Knight involved in 4:36 and parked up by the pit bend fence. We've lost Dave McCrudden and Wayne Handley down the back straight. They're both on the infield. And up front is Shane Darrell, 3:71 from John Paget, 4:49, and Ian Higgins, 29. Behind him, Keith Neville in number 9, and Jamie Davidson, 4:64. And then John London, Des Chandler battling their way through from the pack as the best of the Reds. Steve Sykes trying to get back in the action in 5:09. Nigel Wharton beginning to motor now in 4:22, having been the last man to get away into the race. Ian Higgins takes to the grass to go past John Paget going down to turn 4. So Ian Higgins moves through into second place in 29. And Shane Darrell had the lead at quarter distance in 3:71 from Ian Higgins second, 29, and John Paget third in 4:49. Richard Knight joins those on the infield who retired the 436 car. 3:71, Shane Darrell the leader down to turn 3 from Ian Higgins 29 and Jamie Davidson third. John Lund is 4, Peter 45, Nigel Wharton 6, Des Chandler is 7 and John Paget is 8. Keith Neville has spun at the start of the back straight, but gets his car out of the way of the hard-chasing lead pack. And now Ian Higgins in 29, beginning to put some pressure on the race leader, Shane Darrell, 3:71, as they go down to turn 1. And Higgins motoring through on the inside. Nigel Wharton sticking the bumper in hard on the back end of the John Lund cars that went down the home straight that time. But it's Folding leading the red top charge in third place on the charts with John Lund 4 and Des Chandler 5. And we're coming to the halfway stage next time round for Ian Higgins in 29. Shane Darrell holding on a second, but Peter Folding and John Lund are coming through, and then Des Chandler and Nigel Wharton. And at the halfway, it's Ian Higgins the leader in 29. Second is 3:71, Shane Darrell, and third 33, Peter Folding. Fourth was John Lund, and fifth Des Chandler, 6 Nigel Wharton, 7 Paul Harrison. 8th man through was Jamie Davidson, and the 9th and 10th are Warren Hunter and Rob Cowley. Matt Bennett on the infield at the moment and looking to be out of the running. As they come from the home straight, Ian Higgins in 29, being chased by 33, Peter Folding, who's getting closer. John Lund still in touch, and Nigel Wharton not out of it either. Behind them, Shane Darrell leads the rest of the pack. And barring accidents, it looks to be down to the top 4 with Higgins the leader, Folding second, Lund third, and Wharton 4th. And Wharton now putting the pressure on John Lund as those two battle for third place, with Peter Folding hauling Ian Higgins back in out front. 29 the leader, 33 second, and they've got 5 to run next time. So we head for the closing stages. Some back markers in front of Ian Higgins and Peter Folding in behind him. Higgins in 29 gets the 5 to run sign, and he's under pressure from Peter Folding, who puts the bumper in down on turns 1 and 2. Folding going through on the inside. Higgins tries to fight back, gets in behind Folding as they go down to the pit turn. And now those back markers causing a problem for Folding. One of them is John Lawn. He goes past him on the inside. The other is John Paget, and he now goes past him on the inside, and Folding's got clear track in front of him. 33 the leader, Ian Higgins is second. Nigel Wharton has gone third in 4:22, dropping John Lund back to 4th. Behind him is Des Chandler 5th and Paul Harrison 6th. And then Jamie Davidson and Rob Cowley complete the top 8. And Peter Folding is just over 2 laps away from the checkered flag as he comes off turn 4 and through on the home straight. And he's going clear from Ian Higgins in 29. Nigel Wharton running out of time to impose his will on the front. So it's Folding the leader, Higgins second, Wharton third and Lund 4th. And that's how they're going to come through, and look at the last lap sign. Folding in 33. Off turn 2 and onto the back straight in the lead position. Ian Higgins second, Nigel Wharton third, and John Lund fourth. A tangle just in front of Faulding on that last bend. A hard-stopping moment from the Faulding fans, but he gets away with it and takes the checker. Second man home is Ian Higgins, with Nigel Wharton finishing third and John Lund fourth. Des Chandler comes home in fifth with Paul Harrison sixth and Jamie Davidson seven and Rob Cowley eighth. And those are the only ones to finish on the lead lap. The rest of them led home by Warren Hunter and Shane Dorrell, and Keith Neville and John Lawn and John Paget, and they're about the only ones to complete the distance. And that's it, Mr. Starter. That's the green flag, and into the last event of the afternoon we go with the Formula One stock cars, the Stocks Line Grand National Heat, and Peter Faulding chasing a one-lap handicap from the front of the grid in 33. Keith Neville, the leader on track in car number 9, with Craig Howard second in 52 and John Paget third in 449. Those two B graders just having a tussle of bumpers as they went down the back straight that time. Ian Higgins, already dual race winner this afternoon, getting in behind those B graders, and the bumper goes in, and both Paget and Howard have gone out wide. Rob Cowley leads the red top charge in number 73. And it's tussle with Steve Sykes in 509, and Wharton's gone to the fence, and Hodgson spun around. Those two have been rather entertaining between them this afternoon. Looks to be at it again. Meanwhile, we'll look up front to find Ian Higgins at it again as far as race leading is concerned. The 29 car leads from 464, Jamie Davidson. Number 9, Keith Neville is third and Rob Cowley fourth in 73, with Des Chandler fifth in 213. Craig Howard, John Paget and John Lund are next in line. Howard and Paget are nudged wide, and Lund gains a couple of places on that lap. 29, Ian Higgins the leader. Fast race control, and down to turn 1 he goes. Jamie Davidson sticking close with it in 464. Rob Cowley and Des Chandler having quite a battle for third place. Chandler lines up on the inside of Cowley as they go down to turn 3. And John Lund just sitting in behind, waiting and watching in 53 with Nigel Wharton in touch. Howarth and Paget have tangled on the back straight. Both finish up on the infield, although it looks likely they'll rejoin the action on the home straight. And John Lund has now made his move and gone past Rob Cowley and Des Chandler in one move. That battle for the minor places goes on. For Ian Higgins out front, it will be halfway next time in 29. Jamie Davidson still second, and Nigel Wharton joins John Lund and Cowley and Chandler, but comes off worst on that turn 2, Schmozzle. Oh, John Lund sideways on, and it was Rob Cowley who straightened him up, and now Paul Harrison's joined them. And Peter Faulding from his one-lap handicap is there. So all those two blue tops lead the way, Ian Higgins and Jamie Davidson. There's all hell breaking loose behind them with the Starmen. They've got 5 to run next time through. 29 Higgins from 464 Davidson. And it's 213 Des Chandler third. With Rob Cowley 4, John Lund 5, Nigel Wharton 6, Peter Faulding 7 and Paul Harrison 8. And Faulding's just gained a place having gone past Nigel Wharton. Change up front still, Higgins and Davidson. 29 and 464 are down around the pit stern. There's Chandler and Rob Cowley are third and 4. Peter Faulding is fifth and still moving through the field, putting pressure on Rob Cowley now. And goes past Cowley down the home straight. Cowley gets in behind Faulding. And Wharton is there as well in 422, and Lund closing again in 53. So Ian Higgins out front in 29. Jamie Davidson followed him at the same distance most of the race, unable to get any closer. But Ian Higgins goes through once again in 29, just a couple to run. Chandler and Faulding and Wharton are the men doing the chasing, and then Lund and Cowley. So Cowley's gone back a little bit on the last couple of laps. And the checkered flag goes down for Ian Higgins in 29. Jamie Davidson finishes second in 464. Behind him it's Des Chandler and then Peter Faulding and Nigel Wharton and John Lund and Rob Cowley and Paul Harrison. And reds please, Mr. Starter. race winner is confirmed as number 29, Ian Higgins.